everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode what companies are really saying, and hint hint, this filing has a little surprise waiting for us. GitLab just dropped a filing that tells us about some big changes and financial updates. Let's dive into what it all means beyond the corporate jargon. So this report is dated August 28, 2025, and it tells us about events happening around that time. We've got to focus on what matters most to investors and the company's health. Okay, so the main event here is about GitLab's financial results. For the quarter that ended July 31, 2025, they announced this on September 3rd, and they also said they'd be having a call to talk about it. Now, this is where things get interesting. Companies often use what's called non-GAAP financial information. Think of it like this: if GAAP is the official rule book for accounting, non-GAAP is like looking at the game with your own special interpretations. They say they'll give a reconciliation, which is good. They'll show us how they get from the official numbers to their own special numbers, but it's always good to keep an eye on why they're doing that. Sometimes it's to show a clearer picture, sometimes it's to paint a rosier one. This sentence is a clear signal that the numbers we see in their press release might look a bit different from what you'd find on a standard financial statement. They do this to highlight what they believe are the core operating results by adjusting for certain items they consider unusual or not indicative of their ongoing business performance. It's like a chef cleaning up the plate before serving to make the food look better sometimes. Now, for some leadership news. On August 28th, Brian Robbins, who is their Chief Financial Officer or CFO, told the company he's going to resign. His last day will be September 19th. The company says his departure isn't due to any disagreements about how the company is run. That's good to hear. They are now looking for a new CFO. A CFO is super important, they manage all the money stuff. When a CFO is super important, they manage all the money stuff. When a CFO is super important, they manage all the money stuff. When a CFO is super important, they manage all the money stuff. When a CFO is super important, they manage all the money stuff. When a CFO is super important, they manage all the money stuff. When a CFO leaves, especially without any drama, it can mean a few things. Maybe they found a better opportunity elsewhere, or perhaps they feel the company's future might be uncertain. However, the company stating no disagreements is a positive sign for the ongoing operations. This part is all about how GitLab communicates important news. They posted extra investor materials on their website on September 3rd. They emphasize that they share important information through filings with the SEC, their investor relations page. Press releases, conference calls, webcasts, and even their social media like X, formerly Twitter and LinkedIn. They want to make sure everyone gets the information at the same time. This is a rule called Regulation FD, which stands for Fair Disclosure. It's designed to prevent companies from sharing good news selectively with big investors before telling the general public. They also want you to follow these channels to stay updated. This particular mention of their social media channels is significant. It shows a commitment to using a variety of modern platforms to broadcast their message. For investors, it means you need to be paying attention to more than just the official SEC filings to get the complete picture. This section usually lists the documents attached to the main report. Here we see Exhibit 99.1, which is the press release about their financial results we just talked about. And then there's the cover page interactive data file, which is essentially the report's main information formatted in a way computers can easily read and process. This is great for analysts and automated systems, but for us, it just confirms the financial report is indeed attached. This is a direct link to the actual financial announcement they made. While this filing summarizes it, the press release itself is where you'd find the concrete numbers they are talking about and the non-GAAP adjustments they've made. Now let's try to get a feel for their financial performance. Though this filing doesn't contain the detailed tables themselves, it points us to the press release, which is where the numbers live. Typically when a company announces results, it's to show growth or stability, but also to manage expectations. A change in CFO right around the earnings announcement can sometimes be a distraction or a signal about how the company sees its future financial performance impacting its leadership team. What we'll want to look for in that press release is revenue growth, profitability, and essentially how much cash the company is generating. For GitLab, a company focused on software development and collaboration, we'd be looking for metrics that show user adoption, product stickiness, and their ability to convert those into paying customers. If they are talking about non-GAAP numbers, a lot it's a flag to dig deeper into the GAAP numbers to see what's being omitted and why. For example, if revenue is growing but the GAAP net income is shrinking, it could mean their core operations are costing them more than they're bringing in, or that they have significant one-time expenses or accounting adjustments happening. GitLab as a company has been in a competitive space, and its ability to attract and retain developers is key. The departure of the CFO at this juncture might suggest he felt his work was done, or perhaps he foresaw challenges that made him want to move on. Without the actual financial tables in this particular 8K, we can't do a deep dive into their numbers here, but the reference to it and the mention of non-GAAP figures is crucial context for anyone looking at GitLab's financial health. Looking at the broader picture, GitLab operates in a fast-moving tech world. Their success hinges on continuous innovation and effective sales strategies. The leadership change combined with the focus on adjusted earnings indicates management's perspective on performance. A key risk for any software company is maintaining a competitive edge and managing subscriber churn. If their non-GAAP numbers are significantly higher than GAAP performance, it could indicate aggressive revenue recognition or high stock-based compensation, which can sometimes mask underlying operational weaknesses. We'll need to see those actual earnings reports to get a real feel for how they are performing against their peers and their own historical trends. So what's my take on this filing? It's an announcement of results and a leadership change. The key takeaway is to be skeptical of non-GAAP numbers and to understand why the CFO departed. If GitLab is truly showing strong core business growth, that's positive. But if the non-GAAP figures are masking fundamental issues, then investors should be wary. They seem to be communicating actively, which is good for transparency, but the CFO exit is a point of attention. Alright, that's our quick decode of this GitLab filing. What are your thoughts on the CFO departure and the use of non-GAAP figures? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up. And remember to subscribe for more corporate insights. And hey, don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.